Robert Downey Jr. teases returning as Iron Man to MCU one day. And in other news, Greg refuses to cut his own hair.
I would love to see that.
Social distancing is communism. Urgh.
Oh, goodness.
I hope this video is just Robert Downey Jr. saying, maybe.
It's possible, you never know. You know, there's all sorts of stuff.
This is from the Cosmic Wonder. Let's get to it.
How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk about Marvel and all things relating to the MCU. Now, for the past few months, there's been a lot of talk about Robert Downey Jr. possibly coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, fans are super excited about it, but despite many different reports from many different media sources, it is not yet confirmed. However, last night, it seems like we may have gotten a little bit of a hint from Robert Downey Jr. himself that eventually he could make his way back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Possibly.
Robert Downey Jr.'s comments, along with something that Joe Russo said last night in a live stream he did on Instagram, lead us to believe that we may actually know how and when Iron Man could return to the MCU. And I'll break down everything you need to know in this video. If you're new, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all things relating to the MCU, and next week I'll be starting weekly giveaways. So to start off, about a month ago there was a report that came out about Robert Downey Jr. possibly returning to the MCU under two conditions. A lot of various media outlets were reporting this news, and if you didn't hear about it, I'll briefly explain.
Please.
The first condition was, of course, money. You can get Iron Man back for the right price. However, a recent rumor suggests that Robert Downey Jr. is willing to accept way less than his normal pay. And this makes sense if you consider the fact that it's been revealed that Robert Downey Jr. made $75 million for Avengers Endgame alone. Wow. And that is according to Forbes. So he's not exactly hurting for money. But the second condition is that he be in a project with Tom Holland. This makes perfect sense. Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland got very close to one another while filming the first Spider-Man Homecoming movie, and of course the Avengers films as well, and recently they were both in Doolittle together. So according to some reports about a month ago, these were the two conditions for Robert Downey Jr.'s return to the MCU. Now, last night the Russo brothers did a live stream and they were talking about Avengers Endgame and if they could come back. Many fans want the Russo brothers to come back and direct more Marvel movies, but the Russo brothers have said that they're taking a break for a while. However, on the live stream, Joe Russo said, "We do have a lot of fun working on MCU films together. Maybe we'll have to do it again someday." And after that comment, Robert Downey Jr. said, "The people will move us towards what they
That
want."
is a tease.
That we just may see Iron Man back in the MCU at some point.
That's a legitimate tease.
Everybody right now is pushing for Robert Downey Jr. to return, and of course the Russo brothers. Not to mention all of the reports recently that state Robert Downey Jr. has been talking with Marvel Studios. And there is a connection between the Russo brothers' return and Robert Downey Jr.'s return. The Russo brothers have stated a few times now that they would come back to direct a Avengers Secret Wars film. Now, Secret Wars is essentially a bunch of different versions of a bunch of different heroes from different universes colliding. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, this would be the perfect opportunity for Robert Downey Jr. to return. It would be very brief, and it wouldn't eliminate his death, because the Tony Stark that we would be seeing would be from a different universe. And everything seems to point towards Avengers Secret Wars Battleworld being the next Avengers Endgame type of event, especially since the WandaVision series coming to Disney Plus and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness are going to blow open the multiverse, and shows like Loki are going to explore alternate timelines as well. And not to mention, we can assume Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to be in the next big Avengers film as well, so that would mean his conditions would be met, and Iron Man could return. Now, unfortunately, this movie would not happen for several years. In fact, it most likely won't happen until probably about 10 years from now. But that is a good thing. Right now, Marvel needs to move past Iron Man. He died in Avengers Endgame, and we're moving on to a new phase. Yes, we miss him, but we have to move on. And we have to build new teams.
All the right things.
An Avengers team, an X-Men team, and the Fantastic Four have to come into play as well. Once they have all of their big films separately, they all come together in one huge crossover event like Infinity War and Endgame. So the Infinity Saga took 10 years to build up to Infinity War and Endgame, so this next saga will most likely take 10 years as well. So if Robert Downey Jr. does eventually return, it seems like we're going to have to wait quite a while, but we could see him, and it sounds like he is definitely open to it. And if all of these reports are accurate, Robert Downey Jr. is already talking with Marvel Studios about it. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about what the Russo brothers said and what Robert Downey Jr.'s response was. And would you like to see him return? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications turned on so you can stay up to date on everything relating to the MCU. For live updates, you can follow me on Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
I want him back right now.
Next movie, Iron Man versus Thanos.
Yes.
Just bring them both back immediately.
I mean, looking at this quote here from RDJ, the people will move us towards what they want. That's more of a elaboration on the concept of being open. Of course, the people want him to return. I mean, there's people who are like ourselves who are out there saying like it's too soon. The death would be rendered a little bit meaningless or undercut. I don't know about meaningless, but definitely undercut if he returned back. I mean, I listened to the whole hour-long podcast he did with Joe Rogan, and he talked quite extensively about how he doesn't think it would be a good idea, that it could weaken the impact of Endgame and the whole character journey and the purpose of it. That being said, I mean, the concept of him returning for like a cameo in Secret Wars or some film down the road, I'm not opposed to. I think it has to get to the point though where we believe he's probably not going to come back. Like there's not like, it has to get to the point where they've sold us on it's not going to happen. It's been so long. There's no way, where it really is a genuine surprise. So even the idea of him returning in Secret Wars by this point, because of the early speculation, that already is like, yeah, it's no, I won't be surprised. It really has to be like many years, and then suddenly like, oh my god, he's on screen. Yeah. What the hell? I don't know about this whole it has to be with Tom Holland thing. I mean, I know they're buddies and all that. I don't know why it has to be like, no, only with Tom Holland. Mel Gibson formed his relationship with Downey, and now Downey's forming his with Tom Holland. That way he can pull Tom Holland out of a funk when Tom Holland, because he's still young. Tom Holland still has time to throw his life away.
Drug addiction ahead of him. Yeah.
He's got many more years to really screw himself over in the public eye. Got some maturing to do, and then when he faults, Robert Downey Jr. will be there to save him and pay for his insurance on a set. And I think that's what RDJ is really hoping for, to mentor him down the road. He wants to be his real-life Iron Man outside of the MCU. Hence Doolittle. Jonathan?
I'm with you in that sense that I don't want to see him anytime soon beyond, what will be the requisite bummers that he's gone, little alludes, whatnot. And I also agree with you. I think they have to do this in a way where it would be an ultimate surprise. I don't know about the Tom Holland bit, because that suggests to me like maybe they're talking about this in the sense that he would come back and be an actual character and not just like a cameo. Spider-Man is also in a hotbed of multi-universe activity. I can see it working, but yeah, I just don't want it to happen anytime soon. I do believe though that what the people want will move us toward it. That's about the most hopeful thing I got of that. That's about the most hopeful thing I got out of this. That's about the most hopeful thing I got out of this, because, he's the idea. No, I think I'll do it 3 more times. Yeah, I don't know. That's the most optimistic I can be, sort of. Is like, of course he's willing to put on the suit again for the right price. And now I just hope that he sticks to his guns. And the same with the Russo brothers. I would kind of like them all to get some nice distance from this. Also, so that we can latch on to some other characters. I mean, this is a scary time for Marvel, because even though they do still have a good amount of people continuing through, 2 of their biggest flagship heroes are gone. So, I think we need to give whoever the next generation of the phases are going to be their time to really grab our hearts, and then bring us Robert Downey Jr.
I don't know if it's a scary time for Marvel. I feel like everyone's really excited for what they got in store. I mean, their presence at Comic-Con, and just the sole fact that they have X-Men and Fantastic Four now in development. I feel like that's going to be plenty to get people not really thinking about Iron Man.
Yeah, it's true. I don't mean scary.
I'm saying scary's not the right choice of words here, John.
It's not. They are not in a scary time. It just makes me apprehensive on their behalf that they have to introduce a bunch of new stuff now that they have said goodbye, finally, in a finite way, to some of their biggest characters.
Yeah, and I don't know about the Russos returning for another Avengers movie. I like the idea that, like, Joss Whedon had the first two, the Russos had the next two. I think it would be cool if he handed off the reins to whoever comes next. Taika Waititi? To be the number one name for any new Marvel property.
Well, I like that they named the Secret Wars as if, like, the Russos' specialty is just, let's do the biggest team-ups in the universe together.
I think it would be cool if the Russos went back to a smaller MCU film, and by smaller MCU, it's like $100 million less as opposed to $200 million, you know? They kicked it off with Winter Soldier, and it would be cool if they went back to something a little bit more grounded. I'd say for both of them, when you make such a staple in the MCU, it's hard to break away from that image and branch out. I think it's like that for the superhero medium, generally speaking. But these guys are exceptionally talented. But as this news stands, I'd say this warranted a video, Warren. Subscribe to Cosmic Wonder if you haven't done so already. Do you want Robert Downey Jr. to return to Iron Man sooner than later? How long of a distance would you want in between? Do you not want him to return at all? Do you think Iron Man was overrated? Is Iron Man 2 underappreciated? Subscribe to The Real Rejects, click that notification bell, and last but not least, I wanted to shout out some patrons really fast. We have a reward tier where you get access to our Delete Takes BTS, our exclusive Lens stories as well, and also we do name callouts for these guys. Just a small handful left. Let's do it right now. Marcus Wardeman,
Bailey Reichert,
Kayla Waters,
Melanie Faber,
Burns Reviews,
Justin Martin. Love you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you guys.
Behind the scenes.
Thank you guys.
You guys are the beft.
Thank you guys.
BEFT.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And girls, especially Melanie.
Ladies.
And Kayla.
How you doing?